Well, hello, and welcome to the Legacy Insights Podcast. I am your host, Mov'n Mike, and this is episode number 15. Now, listen, before I begin, I always tell you that this is a great show. There's going to be a lot of great information because it is, right? But tonight's episode, we're going to be diving into like the core of how you get your mind and the money right, right? So at first, I want to ask you, did you check out last week's episode, number 14, The Dramatic Need? There's six generational classes of people that are just missing their mark when it comes to financial IQ and financial application. Just totally missing the mark there, right? So I just hope that it's registering. You guys are checking out those episodes. You're getting this information. You're actually applying it to your unique situations because that's the financial IQ that I'm gunning for. That's what I'm trying to get out to you. So let's go ahead and get started with the show. Right, episode 15. Why hard work alone won't save you anymore. I told you this is going to be a deep show. You're out there grinding it out. You're grinding it out, and you still can't get ahead. And you're wondering why. Right? There's a buzzword out there, affordability. Now, well, check it out. In the Legacy Insights podcast, we're here to discuss entrepreneurship, financial strategies to guide you to your goals and dreams. Simply put, we're going to provide insight to get your mind and your money right. Okay, so it's time to let's get smarter. All right, episode 15, why working hard alone is not going to save you anymore. All right, I got my trusty show notes here, and I really hope that you've been taking notes, personally taking notes, and then applying this information to you. Every week I drop a call to action, right? So this is not just a talking head show. This show is providing you with insight to get your mind and your money right. There's 6 pillars to the legacy framework. You should go back to these previous episodes in season 1, check out the 6 pillars and apply them to your life. Apply them to your unique situation. That's the financial IQ I talk about. So let's go right ahead and jump into the show, right? Because this is going to be huge. I hope you got your pens and your paper out. Okay. They told you if you worked hard, you'd be safe. Go to school, get a job, work overtime, keep your head down, and just retire. And you could retire one day, right? Be obedient, basically, is what they were telling you to do, right? And guess what? It ain't working, right? It might have worked 40 years ago when they had pensions and company benefits of that scale to pay you afterwards, but now that's not the case. So the reality is now there's layoff, inflation, AI, burnout, debt, rising costs, right? I just mentioned that affordability piece, right? And retirement insecurity. So let's just talk about that affordability piece. Okay. If prices aren't coming down, and they're not, because I just looked at the last week's financial inflation report, it is ticked up. It's ticking up, right? It's ticking up. Believing the cost of goods are rising 6%. Now, I don't know what that's doing to the actual, I didn't get the actual inflation number, but prices have been going up 6 to 7% across the board. Okay, that's huge. That's huge when it comes to your bottom line. And if you're not paying attention, and if you're wherever your money is parked and working for you, if it's not keeping up with the inflation rate, then you're not winning at the money game. So if you're not, if inflation's at 5%, I think it was like at 4 something, for almost 5%, right? Or maybe a little bit higher. If your money's not getting that kind of return, then you're definitely losing. You need to get your financial advisor on the phone and ask him what the hell's going on. Okay, so let's keep it moving. This is powerful. See, the system taught you how to survive, not to become financially free. So when they were telling you go to school, get a good education, that was to prepare you for the system to be a cog in the wheel to keep this machine running called America. Okay? I told you this is a capitalist country. There's nothing wrong with that. And the wealthy aren't greedy. They're just getting their share. And they've learned first pillar, they've learned how to use the system, the tax system, the government to acquire wealth. There's no different than you and I. The same system is there if you want to use it, but you've got to learn first pillar. Okay. The core truth is hard work is honorable, but hard work without ownership, strategy, protection, growth is a model is modern day financial exhaustion. Right. So if you're doing all the right things without a strategy and promote protecting yourself, then you're just going to burn out. That's really what it just said. If you're feeling burnt out after doing all of those things that you thought were right, guess what? The system's got you right where they want you, grinding you out, feeding the machine, wash, rinse, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. That's what they're doing to each and one of you who are not learning the system in which we live, this capitalist system. So this is the great middle class trap that we're dealing with. Okay. So working harder, eventually you'll get ahead. See, that's a dangerous lie. That's a dangerous lie. So let me just explain this. This is where millions of people are. Okay. They're working longer hours. They're exhausted. They're taking extra shifts. They're driving Uber. They're doing DoorDash. The Amazon deliveries, huge, right? People are just doing whatever they can to make ends meet, right? And I don't blame them. It's rough out here. But if you're doing all that extra work without learning how to adapt and strategize in the system, you're going to just burn yourself out and wondering why you're not getting ahead. Okay. And you're still falling behind. So listen, this is what they call, I don't know if you've ever heard it. It's called the 40-40 plan. Okay. You work 40 hours a week for 40 years to retire on 40% of what you've earned over those 40 years. That's sick. It's sad. But that's the reality of our economic system here, that the middle class trap that we're in. See, people are getting a little bit smarter and they're trying to try different things, but they're running out just haphazardly doing what they need to do, getting the right information to apply it to their unique situation. That financial IQ is lacking across the board. People, you didn't get into this mess overnight. You're not going to get out of it that much sooner, any faster. So listening to all the gurus out there saying that you can do this in half the time and just follow my system, they're selling you seats. They're selling you tickets without the receipts. Please understand this. Don't get caught in the guru trap of financial independence overnight, because it doesn't happen that way. There's a few people who get lucky. There's a few people who have done their homework, right? And you didn't see them grinding out and becoming masters of their craft. And then when they hit big, they show up. And you're like, wow, he was overnight success. No, that person's been grinding for the last 10, 15 years. It's just that now they have become masters of their craft and now they can shine. And all praises to them, because that's the true nature and the true secret to wealth in this country. You gotta do the work. You can't graduate if you don't go to class. That's why I'm here every day. That's why I'm here. I come to you every week, because the Legacy Insights podcast is getting better and better and better to bring you the information that you need. Go to that Legacy Insights podcast on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you're tapping in with me every week, right? Because, hey, I may not be the most polished, but I'm the most real. Okay. And I'm going to give you exactly what you need. No nonsense here. No nonsense here. I might joke around, right? But that's not the kind of nonsense I'm talking about. I'm not talking about selling you a bill of goods or trying to sell you the Brooklyn Bridge, right? I'm trying to give you the realness. Okay. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. Okay. And I need you to know that. All right. So check this. I want to ask you guys a question. Is the 40/40 plan, is that freedom? Is that building a legacy? And is the 40/40 plan security? Right? Because it didn't sound like it. 40 hours a week for 40 years to retire on 40% of the pay. That doesn't sound like financial freedom to me. It doesn't sound like a legacy building strategy to me. There's no more pensions. There's no more company security, right? So what's going to save you? Is your planning, is you being your own advocate, because there no one's coming to save us. No one's coming to save us. They haven't done it in the last, I don't know, 60 plus years of my life. Right? Nobody's coming to save us. They promise us a whole lot. They throw out some crumbs every now and then, but there ain't nobody coming to save us. Right? Just enough to get your vote. Right? There are no Democrats. There are no Republicans. There's only the haves and the have-nots. And which side of that equation, a have or a have-not, will you belong to? Come on, you got to get your mind and your money right. Here we go. So here's the old system was built for an economy that no longer exists, right? It's changing. It has changed since the iPod. I don't know if you guys remember that. I found the old iPod in my drawer the other day. I was cleaning some things out, doing some dusting, getting some of that old out to make a room for some of the new, right? And I found the old iPod, and I said, "Wow, let's look at this thing." Right? I don't even know what's on it anymore. It's been sitting. That's how old it is, right? The iPod used to be, put all your music on that thing, right? And I wonder if he's got any pictures on it, and I don't think so. I don't even think anything even had pictures, just all music. But I'm going to find out, right? But that doesn't even exist anymore. You can have that many songs on your phone today. You don't even need the iPod anymore. It's changing, right? Pensions have disappeared. Loyalty is no longer rewarded. You know, I need to speak to this loyalty thing with people when they're employers. Stop it. I'm not saying don't do a good job. I'm not saying show up and rip off your boss. Stop being loyal to them and start being more loyal to you, so that you can use them for your financial gain. See, it's not their fault that you accepted the low money that they're paying you. They're supposed to try to get the least paid person so that they make the most profit, right? You've got to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You got to start educating yourself about money and how it works and how this system is built, right? So what I'm saying about loyalty is that they're not paying you to be loyal. Paying you to be in that seat or that production line or that warehouse and getting those goods and services out to the customers so they make money. That's all they're paying you for. And you're easily replaced because it's a Joe job. Any old Joe can do your job. And I don't care if you're, whether it be, a maintenance engineer or a second tier manager, third tier manager, okay, all the way up to C suite. They're replaceable. They're replaceable now. AI, the competition of people coming out of school, right? Because they're getting rid of the old guard because this, guess what? You can hire some of the new kids for less money and give them twice the amount of work, right? They don't have to pay you, that six-figure salary, that mid six-figure salary anymore. They could pay some high school, some college graduate coming out of, business school, master with a master's degree, and pay him half of that. A good five-figure salary. You know, why do we have to pay you 200,000? We could pay this kid, 85, 90,000 dollars a year. They can save $120,000, a year by hiring some college kid. So stop with the loyalty. Start dealing with some strategy here. Your employer needs you just as much as you need them, right? Don't give away that bargaining chip. Okay. You upskill. That's the second pillar, elevate. You upskill, get your skills up so that if anything were to happen, you can move on, right? So let's keep this thing moving. Okay. No more loyalty. Companies cut jobs quickly. AI and automation are replacing tasks, right? Inflation destroys stagnant wages. So they ain't paying you no more, but they're asking more of you. Okay, they're asking more of you, right? Can you start taking over these extra reports and getting out these extra reports that we need now for the sales numbers, right? You mind getting down there and helping what's his name over there in inventory, right? Because they're short a guy. We had to let some people go, so now we need you to help back them up over there and get some packages out and start wrapping pallets. Now, but you the administrative assistant, you know, but now you got to go down to the warehouse and start pulling parts off the shelf to get them out the door. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. Right? Being a totally different department. Right? They call it cross training. No, what they call that is profits, upper their profits. They get you to do the same. They pay you for one job, getting you to do two. Come on now. Come on now. All right. So here we go. Many people are one emergency away from financial panic while working harder than they have ever done before. That's what this whole show is about. Pointing out the fact that you cannot, most of America cannot afford a health crisis, a financial job loss, sending extra kids to college that they did not prepare for, right? Car accidents, just one emergency away. And these things happen every day. If you commute to the office, like I do sometimes, right? I see the accidents. I see the tragedies that happen along the highways, right? I see people getting hit walking off the corner because somebody was on their cell phone. I see that. Now, what happens to that individual who just got hit walking off the corner, off the curb? Their whole world is turned upside down because somebody's on their cell phone. Now you've caused this person years of financial heartbreak and pain. We got to watch out for each other out here. Okay. So hard work versus smart strategy. So this is the difference here. The hard work is trading time for money, but it's been the gold standard for decades. Trading time for money. What do you end up doing? Working more overtime. It wears you out. You're exhausted. There's no leverage because guess what? You're still trading time for money. There's no leverage in that. You got to put one man, one job. So everybody who thinks they're starting a business like I used to think that being self-employed was the gold standard. No, I owned everything. I thought not being an employee at some point was going to change my financial situation. Now, let me just tell you, I made more money, but I had more headaches because I had to do it all myself. See, it's easy just to go to work and settle and collect a paycheck. But being an entrepreneur, self-employed, right? I had to go get paid by the piece. So if I didn't get enough pieces in, I didn't get paid enough, right? But I did well. I did well because I was getting paid more per piece than per hour. You see what I'm saying? That's the benefits of being self-employed and not an employee. But you got all the headaches, you got all the expenses, and you got the burden of finding the next contract before the one you're in expires. So I'm sharing this with you because I've got the experience. Okay, I've been battle tested, if you want to know, right? I've been out here for a while. Okay, and so when you're working hard and you're an employee, you have no ownership. So there's no leverage. Okay. Smart strategy is this: building multiple income streams. That's what I started to do with myself when I was self-employed. I said, okay, not only do I need to work on the job that I have, I need to bring in some subcontractors. I need to bring in some other vendors. I need to bring in some other people that I'm going to make a small percentage on top of the work that they're doing for me. Right? Make sure they get paid so they do a good job, and you ain't got to watch them as much, as much, right? But you pay them good, and you can make a little bit of profit on top of that, 10, 20, 30% sometimes. Okay? Depending on the job, how fast they are, you know, no hourly work, piecework, price per job. Hey, this is what it costs. This is what we're going to pay you. Get in, get out. You get paid that much faster, that much quicker, and you make more money, right? You ain't got to worry about hourly wages because now they're going to milk the job, and there goes your profit out the window. Okay. I hope you took that down. I really hope that you got your pens and paper out because I'm just dropping these nuggets all over the place here, right? Hit that subscribe button to the Legacy Insights podcast. Tap in with me, right? Go back to those previous episodes. Make sure you're watching and learning. Okay, there you go. So, smart strategy, investing. Okay, if you don't know anything about investing, hit me up in the comments, right? Reach out to me at the Legacy Insights podcast. Hit in the notes, in the comments, right? Legacyinsights@gmail.com. Send me an email. Hit me up on social media, okay? Talk to your advisor. What am I missing? What do I need to do? Am I pulling out enough taxes so that you don't get hit with more taxes or at the end of the year because the rates are rising, right? And your employer may not be taking out enough tax, and you end up paying at the end of the year. Have that happen to a few people that I know very close. They weren't happy about that because the employer wasn't taking out enough taxes every week so that they would cover their tax bill at the end of the year, and they don't owe, right? It's your responsibility now. You have to be your own advocate in these areas. Okay. So you got to protect your assets, learning high income skills. I just talked about Elevate, the second pillar in the legacy framework, right? You've got to do some side hustles. Okay. I even decided to take an additional course with Coursera through Microsoft, you know, and learn data analysis for financial situations, right? Financial reporting and for companies, right? Because I'm working with people. This is information that I need to know. And I'm not sharing that with you to show you how smart I am. No, I'm sharing with you that I cannot suggest to you to do something that I'm not doing myself. That would make me a hypocrite, right? I told you, I'm not new to this. I'm true to it. So if I'm going to do it, right? If I'm asking you to do it for yourselves, I got to be doing it for myself as well. And I've got to have the receipts to show you. Okay. So there's no gurus here. Just you and I. All right. There's no gurus here. Just a guy trying to help another guy or another person to get their goals and dreams. Right. So using systems and automation, AI is all out there. Right. You've got all these different AI models. There's no reason why you shouldn't be making an extra couple $100 a week or a month with these tools. Resume writing, doing what is it? The legal when you're stamping the paperwork, right? Notary. There should be something that you could do. Notarizing contracts for mortgages, real estate deals, cooking, baking, photography. There's a whole lot of party planning. The spectrum is so wide open. Start a little side hustle to get you paid, okay? And then use automation to make the job much easier. Just type in what is one of the best side hustles that with low startup, and get started, okay? Don't try to figure it all out. Just get started. You'll figure it out on the way, okay? Making money work for you. So that's what I was talking to you before about getting good interest rates, okay? Your money is a tool. It will work for you if you set it up properly. You can't hammer a screw, okay? You can't hammer a screw. You got to screw the screw in with a drill or a screwdriver, right? You got to make it work for you. Okay, so just check it out. And this is like the analogy I spoke of, right? It says that a shovel works hard, but a backhoe or a excavator works smart. So if I got to dig a trench, and I've dug a few trenches in my life, right? Putting diapers on kids, right? Um, I would rather have had the excavator and the backhoe than me to jump down in that hole with that shovel and that pitchfork. But been there, done that, right? But I would rather have had that tool, that smarter tool working for me. But that wasn't my call, right? Sometimes you need a they say you need a razor rather than a pair of scissors, or a scalpel rather than a jackhammer, right? Sometimes you need to have a precise tool, and sometimes that shovel is that tool, that scalpel when you dig in the trench, right? So just not to tear things up. I hope some of the construction workers got that analogy out there, right? So here we go, right? A shovel works hard, but an excavator works smarter, right? The problem isn't the hard work. That's not the problem. What the problem is that it's only hard work that you're doing. You got to start working smarter. Okay, stop beating yourself in the head with the same old tools. The game and the tools have changed. Okay, get some new tools, work smarter, not harder. Okay, so this is where the mind shift takes place right here. Your paycheck alone cannot carry the weight of your future anymore. Okay, I hope you got that. And see, I say that to say there's always going to be more month than money when it comes to your paycheck. Unless you getting paid and you're not spending money and you've done some good things, you got your debt down below 30%, your money's working for you. You paid off some things, and now your paycheck is just like really just taking care of the bare necessities, your mortgage, your rent, your food, your car payment, or you paid your car off. Done that, right? Get rid of those car payments, right? Um, what I'm saying is just that your paycheck is no longer working for you the way it should, right? If you're not doing the right thing with it. But if you set yourself up, bless you, and let's keep it moving. So the real enemy here is financial dependency. Okay. Many people unknowingly built their entire life around one employer, one income stream, one retirement plan, and one fragile system. That's a fragile system right there. One employer, one stream of income, and one retirement plan. Very fragile system, because if any one of those things go down, so do you. If you can't go to work tomorrow for any God forbids reason, what's going to happen to you and your loved ones that you take care of? How long would you be able to survive if you lost your job today? That's what we're talking about here. This is serious stuff, people. And when that system shakes, the entire world shakes with it. I could drop the mic right now because that's the truth. This show is not here to scare you, but it's here to wake you up. No more sleepwalking with the Legacy Insights podcast, right? We're here to drop the noise and wake up the people who are sleepwalking. This country is an economic engine. It's based on hardcore economics. This is a contact sport. This is a contact sport. And you better understand that, because that's the only way you're going to win, by getting your mind and your money right, and learn that money is a tool and is supposed to be respected. Because if you don't respect your money, it's not going to respect you. Okay? So here we go. The key point I'm making here is that dependency creates fear. Fear creates obedience. Obedience keeps people stuck. See, because they're going to say, oh, and people ask me all the time. They say, hey, Mike, moving money, Mike, what are you doing now? Why are you trying? What are you doing these other things for? What you got? Listen, the combination, the combination is in, what's the word I was looking for? The combination is in options. Freedom is in options. You're never going to find freedom with one tool. So if I went to work with just a hammer, all I could do is hammer something. I need a screwdriver. I need a drill. I need a hammer. I need a tape measurer. I need a pencil to mark things out. I might have to draw a sketch of what I want it to look like, right? A plan, a strategy. I might even need to take somebody with me to help me carry some of that stuff into the house. I hope you're hearing me right now. I hope you're hearing me, right? See, when you have this dependency, it creates fear because now you know if you lose that job, you're going to be SOL, right? You're going to be SOL. So what do people do? They get obedient. Yes, boss. Yeah, man. I got you. I'm coming in. Don't worry. I won't be late this time. Matter of fact, I'll stay after and make up some extra time. Matter of fact, you need some over. Can I get some overtime? Can you need some help? Well, no, you're on salary, so I require you to stay until you're done. There's no overtime. You just need to stay and get it done. You see what I'm saying? So, real talk. People stay at jobs they hate. People tolerate disrespect. That you ain't gonna get that one on me. You can be talking to me all crazy. But people tolerate disrespect. People stop dreaming. I'm going to talk about that for a second. You know what? I'm going to ask you all. Do you know what the richest place on the planet is? I was told it was the graveyard. People have died with all their dreams and goals and plans before they became reality because of and they did not become reality because of fear. They were afraid to take action because they might lose this little bit of something over here. And they didn't want to wager that against something big and beautiful over here. Listen, I just don't want you to miss this. I don't want you to miss this because this is huge. And a lot of times people get that message too late, but not you, not you, not now. You need to keep working at your job you hate and start strategizing with the legacy framework and these nuggets that I drop in this show to start making a way for you, your family, your loved ones to get yourselves out of this middle class crisis that we're stuck in. Okay? That's what's happening here. That's what's happening. So listen, people shrink themselves for security. That's a damn shame. That's a damn shame because financially they have no options. Man, been there. I I at some point I believe that was me. I had no options. I had to do things. I had to deal with some things. Right. I never tolerated disrespect because I've walked out a couple of jobs in my life. Like, oh hell no. Right. And so, but I did feel stuck at some point. Have you ever felt stuck financially or in a job you hate? The truth is you don't have to settle. We're going to talk about that. When your income has no backup plan, your life feels like survival mode. And that's the sad part. But this is the solution, the legacy framework. Let's talk about it. You're going to increase your value. This show is going to teach you new skills. Learn, elevate, guard, get in alignment, change. And it all comes down to you. That's what this is all about. So we're going to learn some new skills. You're going to upskill in technology, financial education, sales, communication, and leadership, entrepreneurship, and investing mindset. See, that's what we're going to be teaching. We're just getting warmed up here. We're just getting warmed up here. We want you to understand that we're coming every week with this information, bits and pieces, so that you can grab it, apply it, and grow, and we can grow together. That's what this is all about. Let's keep going. You cannot expect 2026 economy to reward a 1996 mindset. Man, I could drop the mic on that one too. Wow. We're in 2026 and people still thinking and acting like they're in 1996 with some of the strategies. Let me put my money in a savings account. Let me put my money under the mattress. Let me put all my change in a jar and put it up in a bread basket and stick it up on the shelf. Money's not working for you there. It's just sitting around collecting dust and you squirreling it away like you the squirrel, right? That you're going to grab it when hard times come. Well, guess what? In 2026, when the hard times come, there's not enough in that can or under the mattress to take care of it because it's not growing. These are big problems today. They're expensive problems today. So your money's got to be growing with the economy, with the inflation, with the rising cost of things. So you just can't just put it in a savings account and expect them giving you a 0.0% interest while they're making 15 and 20%, loaning it out to businesses, entrepreneurs who are flipping that money, buying real estate, building businesses. And you're just putting your money in the bank to sit there and look at it every week to see what your savings account total is. Come on now. This is what this show is all about. It's knowledge and application. So here we go. The call to action for you guys. You got to read more, learn AI tools, start a side hustle. That's that the first pillar, learn, right? Start a side hustle. That's the second pillar, elevate. You got to learn some AI tools and start making some additional income. You guys are going to hear about some things that I'm doing. I tell you, I'm working on tools. I'm working on bringing you guys tools and apps and things of that nature that you could apply, and you can sit down and do this stuff yourself, right? But you're going to hear also too about other ventures I'm branching out into, right? I'm not getting older. I'm getting better, man. Right? The lights are coming on, right? I hope they stay on. Right? Right? Start a side hustle, build another stream of income. Stop depending on your one paycheck. Oh, stop depending on it. There is not a money problem. You don't have a money problem. You don't have a money issue. You got to get more money issue. That's all. Stop watching TV. Get off the couch. Stop settling for where you are. Right? You want to turn on YouTube and no, not even YouTube, because I'm on YouTube. You better turn YouTube on, right? But you want to go on Netflix and watch every damn special and every episode, and you ain't got your bills paid. I know guys who watch every season, every game, football, right? But guess what? The car payment's late, right? Cable about ready to turn off, but they watching that game though. You'll get that last game in before the cable gets shut off. Come on now. You gotta get out there and go get it. There's enough money in this country. Believe me, I was down in Palm Beach, Florida last week, and when I was going over the bridge from the airport to the Breakers Hotel, there was yachts sitting in there. Big as the yachts were so big, there are helicopter pads on them, and there were personal boats. So there's not a money issue in this country. It's a lack of getting that money issue in this country. You can get yours too. You can get your piece too. 1% or 0.5% of what is out there would change your mind and change your life. Okay, that's what this show's about. So stop depending on one paycheck. Your job should fund your escape plan, not become your prison. Wow. Wow. There's another mic drop. There's another mic drop. Your job should fund your escape plan and not become your prison. Come on. We got too much life to live, people. Let's keep this going. You got to the next pillar, guard. You got to protect what you build. I've talked about that in previous episodes in the legacy framework. Too many people build income without protecting it. So you got to have emergency fund. What is an emergency fund? Okay. They say 6 months. I'm telling you 12. 12 months of bills and whatever bills and expenses that you have. That's an emergency fund. It's not some money you got sitting off to the side, in that jar, right? I already told you, emergency come, that whatever's in that little jar ain't going to take care of you or take care of that emergency. Because in 2026, emergencies are larger than life. Okay. They're larger than life. So what you need is 6 to 12 months, even 18 months, 24 months of bills in a savings account, right? That's the only time you would have money in a savings account because you need liquidity, right? You need to get to it quick. It's an emergency. That's the only time I would suggest that you put money in a savings account is for the bills that you're going to pay or that emergency fund so you can get to it quick within 24 hours or less, right? Because it's an emergency. But you need 6 months to 24 months of that sitting around. That's an emergency fund. You need insurance. And if you say you don't believe insurance, I understand. But let me tell you, insurance is not a religion. You don't have to believe in it. You don't have to believe in it. You just have to get it and use it because when that emergency hit, you're going to be glad that you did. See, because the one thing about insurance is you rather have had it and not needed it than needed it and not have it. Come on now. Because I'm telling you, I know a lot of families that needed it and didn't have it. Now they're on GoFundMe. Now they're asking people for handouts. Whatever you can do, we'd appreciate it. Okay. Okay. You need to do some debt reduction, asset protection, retirement planning, and some financial discipline. Stop spending your money on niceties over necessities. Stop doing it. Niceties are just nice. You're going to impress people you don't like, show off for people you don't know, and be broke as hell. I know people, you got a $700 car and no cable in the house. $700 payment. You look good driving that car, but you're driving back to the hood or you're driving back to a house with no cable. Know them. Got a brand new purse. Got about a $5,000 purse and $5 in it. Because you look good, but you're sitting at the bar waiting for somebody else to buy you a drink. Come on now. Ain't nothing wrong with somebody buying you a drink, but at least they have some money of your own. Right? Guys, the same thing. Right? Got the Gucci belts on, the Gucci bags, sit up in the club against the wall, sipping on the same drink all night long, looking around trying to style. Right? Come on now. Come on now. Key point here is emergency should not destroy your entire life. If you don't protect your money, life will eventually take it from you. Because emergencies today are bigger than the small budgets that we set aside. It should be priority. Okay. So the pillar of line is to get your household on one mission. Okay. That pillar of line is truly one of the most significant pillars in the legacy framework because it touches everything. Think of a calm pool of water. That's your household, that's your family, that's your life. That calm pool of water. Now you drop a pebble into that pond. What happens? Those ripples, they spread out and go from the center of that pond or wherever that pebble hit out to the edges. It takes everything with it. It touches everything, every aspect, every person, every area of your life, emotional, physical, spiritual, right? Mental. It touches everything in your life. Is that financial emergency, that physical emergency. But your life is all in ripples now, in waves of emotional upheaval. You've got to protect yourself. Okay. That's what this show is all about. Okay. You've got to make sure that your house and your life is in alignment. So financial stress destroys marriages, families, mental health, and vision. Okay. Financial, see, that's what it does. Financial distress destroys all that. You can't think past that emergency. It's a mental block. It's an emotional block. People do crazy things when they get in financial situations, right? They do irresponsible things financially when they're in an emergency, especially if you don't have enough money, right? So to pay the bill, you know what? Oh, I can't pay that bill anyway, so I'm going to go spend that money on something else. What? What? No, you've got to make sure that you put whatever you can on that bill so it don't take all the rest of the money when it come in. See, because paying yourself back is a lie. You don't pay yourself back because that money gone, right? See, that's the thing about mindset. You can trick yourself into thinking some really crazy stuff. Oh, I'll make up that time. Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't. You're going to use more of the time that you got coming. See, I'm gonna tell you, time and money are two in the same, right? They're the same on the same coin, right? Two sides of the same coin. You can spend money and you can spend time. Neither, once it's spent, can you get it back. You just got to earn more of it. Time you will not earn more of. You just got to keep spending your time. So time is not as important, even though it's very important, is not as important about the choices you make in the time that you have. I hope you're hearing me. I hope you're writing this down, taking notes. See, time is definitely the most expensive commodity that we spend, but we can't get it back. So once you spend it, the time is shorter, and now you better make better choices with the time you have left. See, because you spend money, is gone, but you can make more of it. And you know what I'm saying? Time you can't do that with. So you got to start making better decisions, better choices, take better actions with the time you have left. Men, average lifespan 73 to 76 years old. Women, 83 to 86 years old. I don't know where you're at. If you're listening to this show and you're a young man, you're a young woman, great. Know those are the average lifespans based on 2026 data. Okay. You got some time to work with. If you're older and you're at 50 years old, you better recognize. If you're in your 60s, you better get moving. Get your health right. Get your finances straight. Get your legacy in order. Because it's not about the money, it's about the eulogy you're writing right now. How do you want to be remembered? Even Jesus Christ didn't get out alive. Okay, so let's keep this show going. We're going to teach shared goals, budget meetings, family family financial conversations, how to talk to each other about these things, right? That's going to be a great show. How to talk to each other about these financial conversations, teaching children money discipline, removing ego spending. So you don't impress the people you don't like. That makes no sense. I'm going to show Barry over there, I can drive a BMW too. Well, you ain't doing what Barry doing. Maybe Barry got a good damn financial strategy working. He got a good side hustle, right? He's listening to the show and applying some of these financial frameworks to his life. And you haven't started yet. You better get started. Tap in with me, the Legacy Insights podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Go back to previous episodes. Tune in with me. Okay? So the powerful truth is this: many households have two incomes, but zero alignment. That's a tragedy. That's a tragedy. You got everything working for you that a lot of people don't have, and you're not in alignment. You're not working toward the same goals, right? Your household is a business. Your spouse is your business partner. And I tell you this: if I'm not influential enough in your life to help you get better at you, and you not influential enough to help me get in alignment with myself and doing the things that we need to do individually so that we can do better together, I don't even know why I should be with you or why you're with that other person, right? I'm gonna share this with you. When it comes to relationships, there's three types. Okay, this is the first. When you have a giver and a giver, that's exotic. When you got a taker and a taker and a giver, that's um, neurotic. When you got a taker and a taker, that's psychotic. Okay, I hope you got that. When you got a giver and a giver, exotic. It's beautiful. It's like a beautiful scenery in nature, right? Beautiful, right? They're both giving and working together and doing what they need to do to build themselves and each other in the household and their lives. Then you got a giver and a taker, and it can happen. There's a lot of that going on, right? And it could be any person at any time in the relationship. You can switch, right? But that's neurotic, right? And, it can be good, it can be bad, and it goes back and forth, right? A little give and take, right? Typical relationships. But when you got a taker and a taker, that's psychotic. Total chaos all the time. Me, I, and nobody's winning. And you want to know why your household in your life and the things around you are not working out because you're not in alignment. Think about that. Think about it. So, where are we? We're moving on from a divided financial household will always struggle to build a legacy. That's where we are. So, pillar number 6, you. It all comes down to you. The real battle is internal. Greater is the man that can conquer many cities than a man can conquer himself. No, I'm sorry. Greater is the man that can conquer self than a man can conquer many cities. I had to get that right because that's huge. It's all about discipline. It's all about commitment. It's all about consistency, right? That's what we need to work on in our lives. When you get a plan, you get a strategy, you write it down. So when you drift, and we all drift, we can't always function up here. I'm not an A personality. I'm gonna just tell you right now. A personalities, they get things done. I'm like a CB personality down here, right? So I need structure. I need accountability. I need people calling me on my BS, right? I need to say out loud what I'm doing so that you can hold me accountable, right? That's what I need, right? I sometimes I talk out the side of my neck just so that you can hold me accountable And if I don't do what I say I'm doing, you can tell me I'm full of it, right? Real talk. Real talk. So this is what we need to do, right? The hardest things to change in people is when they're fearful. False evidence appearing real. Fear. You might as well just go ahead and step into it, right? I don't know if I'm not as religious as I am spiritual, but I do remember this. Someone told me that in the Bible, the good book, it said, although I walk through the valley of death. It didn't say I walked into it and I stopped, I paused, I got in there, I fell down, it was all over. It said I walked through the valley of death. I shall fear no evil, right? I don't even know the rest of it. I'm not going to try to remember because it's not that show. But the point of the matter is that they walk through it despite the fear, despite the doubt, despite, you know, the ego. You got to walk through it. You just got to get started. Okay. Fear, false evidence appearing real, limiting beliefs. You're just comfortable. You're comfortable. There's three places people live: crisis, comfort, and never run to success. Those are three places most people live. Is in crisis and comfort. They never run to success. Now, that guy with that big boat, the yacht with the helicopter on it, he ran to success, and he stayed there. Right? What about you? Okay. What about you? Okay. Get out of that comfort zone. Right? No excuses. Old programming. Right? You just keep thinking that what you're doing is going to work for you next year. It's not. It's going to be a new year. You need some new thinking. Right? They call it stinking thinking. Right? You got to get out of that mode. So I got to explain this to you. Many people were taught just work hard, don't take risks. Money is bad, which is a lie. Money is neutral. It's the people that make money bad. It's the people that make money good, right? Money is just money. It's a tool. Rich people are lucky. No, they're not. They work hard. They work hard for it. That's the difference. That's the difference. So I'm gonna challenge you guys, right? I told you this show's got call to actions. You just can't come to this show and just listen and not take action. Well, you can, but you can't blame me if your life don't change, right? Because I'm giving it to you. I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you the nuggets. I'm giving you the legacy insights framework to get your mind and your money right. Who would you become if fear stopped controlling your decisions? Who would you be? Who would you become? Right? How much different would your life be if you just took some chances? If you lived out your dreams? I'm telling you, I do a lot of research, I do a lot of listening, and I heard this one speech that man gave, and he talked about there's only two people in this world in your life that you need to please. It's not your wife, it's not your husband, it's not your children, it's not your job, it's not anybody in your circle or around you. It's the 8-year-old version of you and the 80-year-old version of you. Now, let me tell you why. Because the 8-year-old version of you needs to feel safe, secure, loved, right? And when you meet those inner needs of that 8-year-old you version of yourself, safety, love, nurturing, all those things, you're a better off person. You're a happy person inside. You have good relationships, with healthy relationships with people, right? It doesn't have to be your parents or your siblings or it don't have to be them. You're just going to have healthy relationships around you, right? And the 80-year-old version of you, that when you look back on your life, you lived a life well lived. No regrets. Not saying to yourself, I wish I had. If only I had. If I should have just tried that when I had the chance and I had the time and I had my youth and I had the opportunity. Those are the only two people in your life you should be worried about making happy. Is the 8-year-old version of you and the 80-year-old version of you. All right? Let's keep this thing moving. That's some serious talk for you. Okay? The greatest investment you'll ever make is upgrading the person in the mirror. Just talked about it. You upgrade that 8-year-old version of yourself and that 80-year-old version to be of yourself. And believe me, you'll be a much happier person. So, this is the wake up call. No one is coming to save you. Your employer is not your retirement plan. Overtime is not wealth. I'm going to say that again. Overtime is not wealth. Okay? Burnout is not success. People say, oh, I'm busy. I'm busy. Oh, I'm so busy. I can't do this. I can't do that. Busy doing what? What part of the busy is impactful in changing your life towards your dreams, your goals? Because if you're just busy, come on now, you just running around like a chicken with your head off. But are you impactful? Are you improving your life? Are you adding to the value of your life or someone that you love? Right? It's not always about financial. It's not always about the money. How are you living? Is the true question. Are you pleasing that 8-year-old version of yourself, working toward that happy in impactful life that 80-year-old would be proud of? Okay? That's building a legacy. That's building a legacy. So, survival is not a legacy. When you get to the end and you look back and all you've ever done over your entire life is survive, that's the tragedy. That's where I said that the graveyard is the most valuable place on the planet. So many people have died without living to their full potential. They've not experienced any of their dreams, their hopes, their life. Please, together, let's not be one of those. Let's work together to not be one of those individuals. The new mission: learn more, earn smarter, protect better, align your families, have those conversations, have those fearful conversations because it's false evidence appearing real. You can do this. You can do this. You can have those conversations and get through it. You can become financially dangerous. Okay. What does that mean? Take some chances. Because if you just keep holding on this little bit of money over here, thinking it's going to save you, you're going to be SOL. You're going to be really upset because that little bit of money ain't going to do nothing for you. You're holding on to pennies, praying for gold nuggets. No. Oh, come on now. Come on. So listen, this is it. Stop working only for money and start building systems that work for you. Okay. This is what I'm going to leave you guys. All right. This is where I'm going to leave you guys tonight because like this is truly one of these episodes that I'm proud to have brought today. Okay. I'm really proud to have brought this episode today. Hard work built this country, but smart ownership, financial intelligence, and strategic action will build your legacy. Get your mind and your money right and stop giving your best years away without a plan. I am your host, Mov'n Mike, and I want to thank you for the privilege of your time. Only here will you get the authentic Michael, Mov'n Mike, right? My goal is to help you become financially free and happy. And with that, I'll say good night.